My name is Dr. Michael Brown, and this is 3 Words, a bite-sized podcast about the simple and yet very strategic choices that all of us can make in order to be fully alive. And not just alive on the weekends, but alive throughout the week. I love my conversation with Che Walters, my friend, a colleague, who talks about these 3 words: live for weekdays. Not just weekends. You can have a great weekend, but what about the other 150 hours a week? We dive in, we give really practical tips on how to avoid the Sunday scaries, how to dive into your week ready, prepared, alive, grateful, excited, positive, and ready to rock and roll. Listen in. Che Walters, you're in the 3 Words podcast studio. I've been trying to get you in this studio for a while. You have been resistant. And then we ran into each other on the 4th of July and just started kind of chatting it up in a yard of a friend, a common friend. And you're here. And I'm so excited. So you are the first time here in the 3 Words podcast studio. So our guests, our listeners, our viewers are going to be like, who is this guy? So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Che Walters. I'm a residential loan mortgage consultant with Loan Depot. Been in the industry for, we'll say, a decade and a half. And thank you for allowing me to come hang out with you today. And I am super excited.
Well, it's just great to have you here. We've known each other for about 3 years now. We met each other through a networking group here in our community, and obviously close connection, fast connection. And we've not had a lot of time in the last couple of years. So it's going to be fun just to literally reignite our friendship and have a great conversation here for those to listen in. So as always, you have the privilege. What are our 3 words for today?
The 3 words for today will be live for weekdays.
Now, even as you're listening, I'm guessing for some of our viewers and listeners, like live for weekends? No, not on 3 Words podcast, because we do not want you to fall into the trap that many people do, which is living and treating Monday through Thursday as a dress rehearsal for the weekend. I mean, there's 168 hours in every week. And only 48, 50, 52, depending how you do the math, is your weekend. You have another 110 hours of your week that we typically are like, let's go, let's get through. And so I'm so excited to have this conversation with you today. Now, obviously, you chose these 3 words.
I did.
So why? Why are these 3 words important to you?
Well, you kind of touched on it when you said about the hours, 168 hours during the week, right? If you look at it, the average person works 20, 21, 22, 3 days in a month. What do we have? 8, 9, 10 maybe weekends? So you're going to be excited for just a brief time of the week? No, let's get excited for the weekdays. I mean, I thoroughly enjoy, I wake up enjoying Mondays. I'm kind of backwards because it's like a clean slate to start the week. So I thoroughly enjoy weekdays.
Well, I'm guessing one of the reasons you enjoy weekdays, Che, is because you probably like what you do. I mean, obviously, I've been in networking groups with you where every single week you're talking about what you care about, and you care about people and helping people achieve their dreams. And that's really cool. So I'm guessing that is motivating for you to think about your week. Whereas, I mean, some people are probably thinking, I don't like my job, or I don't like my week, or I hate to say this, I don't like my life.
Right.
Some people are so embarrassed or even ashamed of their own personal story, they just want to kind of gloss over it as they go through Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, just to get to a weekend. And I'm sad to say this, but just to numb the pain or to deal with the boredom that they're experiencing. But I'm thinking, why? And I have a thought on this, and I would love your comment on this, is this idea that oftentimes we see our entire lives as our job and our career. And so if it's not going well, we feel like, well, what else is there in my weekdays? And I'm thinking about all these relational connections. I'm thinking people I'm meeting. Obviously, you're in this mortgage business, which is kind of like sales too. You're meeting people and connecting with people all the time, which is super cool. But what is it specifically for you? Obviously, you wake up on Monday mornings feeling awesome and feeling excited. What is it about Mondays? What is it about Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays where you're like, I like my weekdays?
Well, it kind of goes like this. I live in the world, win the morning, win the day, right? So if you, which actually goes back one step further, win the night, win the morning, win the day. So I'm on a routine. So with that routine, you have yourself kind of mapped out for the week. But then for me, I look at it like I have the times I spend during the day helping out families with their financing and reaching their dreams of mortgages. But in the evenings, that's me and my family time. So for just to look at having weekends as the time to relax and unwind, Why can't it happen in the evening? Why can't after dinner with your family go for a walk, go for a bike ride and do things? So those few hours in the night to me is almost more exciting than the weekends, because the weekends, didn't say, but I have 5 children I chase around. So that could be travel, sports, friends over. I'm on their schedule on the weekends. In the evenings, that's a little bit of my schedule that I schedule in there, just having a good time with my wife and little mini date nights all throughout the week.
I love this. You've hit so many topics that I'm passionate about. Obviously, establish your routines. We've talked a lot about in 3 Words Podcast. Wake up early. We've talked about on 3 Words Podcast. Design your day. We've talked about on 3 Words Podcast. You're hitting all of these various topics, and it sounds like you're living that out. So you don't have, I'm presuming, you have created a resistance or even a barrier to what oftentimes folks in the professional world call or refer to as the Sunday scaries.
Oh, yeah.
That's like, oh no, Sunday's coming. But you're designing, and I've never heard it phrased that way. Win the night, win the morning, win the day. I think so often we tend to be exhausted on Mondays or Tuesdays, and we're just wondering, why is this circumstance called exhaustion happening to me? Well, we've designed our days that way, and that's why we're tired, and that's why we're struggling. That's why we're exasperated. That's why we might be a little bit frustrated or a little bit edgy with our colleagues, because we've not done the things that you've talked about. I mean, what if we do get a great night's sleep, a fantastic breakfast, some morning routines and rituals, and then walk into our Monday morning, walk into our Tuesday morning, walk into our Wednesday morning, more alive and not just living? I hope you're enjoying my conversation with Che here in the 3 Words Podcast studio. I just want to hit pause for a moment and invite you even, to share this episode with a friend who gets to Sunday every single week and thinks, oh, dear Lord, I don't want to step into my Monday. Now back to the episode.
And being on a routine, you're prepared for the uncontrollables. For us, folks to better control your day, we can only control the controllables. So if you have yourself kind of mapped out, you're prepped. But if something comes out of nowhere, well, then you're ready for it. And in the mornings, obviously, I've heard you say it. I've been a big believer of it for a long time. Eat the frog first thing in the morning. I had a case today. Do it first thing. Then it comes off. You just feel, I can't say you feel better, but it's off your shoulder.
Yeah.
So now you can think through other things. So you're not just sitting there all day long, not wanting to make those calls. And then it's affecting everything and everybody. Knock it out early in the morning, and then keep proceeding through your day. And try to stay on track as much as you can. So on that task, getting your tasks done, living in a little bit of favor time and rich time, I think is what it's called, and you work through your day.
Yeah. Well, and I'm guessing even working through your day, obviously there's some of those busy things, there's some of those bigger things that you want to do first thing in the morning. I love that you're quoting Mark Twain, by the way, on 3 Words Podcast. At least that phrase, eat the frog, has been attributed to him. Legend has it that he said something along the lines of, if you eat a live frog first thing in the morning, the rest of your day gets a whole lot easier. And obviously that's true, but you can't own your morning, and you can't do that in the morning if you wake up exhausted.
Yep.
You're not taking care of your body. You're not developing in the physical dimension or the relational dimension of your life. And you're just living for the career and living for the weekends. We talk a lot about in 3 Words Podcast, the 12 dimensions of a person's life. One of those dimensions, Che, if our viewers and listeners have been tracking with us, they would know this, but if they haven't, is a recreational dimension of life. And I think so often the reason we designate that as its own dimension is that we want to have fun. Right? So fun is those activities that we choose that actually refresh and refuel and regenerate us. But oftentimes we're choosing these activities and these leisure opportunities that just drain us and distance us from people. And so in many ways, it's interesting to me that people live for the weekends, but then the weekends aren't even what they anticipated them to be. And then they come into the next week and they hope that if they do it again and repeat and keep hitting repeat, that the next weekend will be better and different. And it's not. And I think that's why there's a lot of discouragement within our culture, a lot of discouragement within families, because people aren't maximizing their moments. You had this amazing, and you've tipped us off to this idea of you're dating your spouse during the week, and you're dating your kids during the week. And we obviously had an episode that went viral, date your spouse. And these are really important things. And what makes them important is you have tapped into, whether it is Sunday or Monday or Tuesday or any day of the week, you have tapped into the notion that people and relationships and human beings and connections with human beings are what matter the most. And so if you have that perspective, as opposed to I'm going to work to do a task, to do a thing, no matter what your job is. My guess is there's some interaction with human beings that you can actually help people feel better about themselves, be encouraged, be inspired, supported. So anyway, I love that you actually are designing your day. You're talking about why your Mondays through Thursdays, well, Monday through Fridays until the weekend are going awesome, but also this idea that you're actually eating the frog first, but then even just enjoying, correct me if I'm wrong, enjoying the 110 hours of your...
You have to enjoy the 110 hours, but you have to take it one step further, just on the day-by-day basis and live every day like it's your last, right? We can't worry about what happened yesterday. I can't foresee what's going to happen tomorrow. So for me, it's like live every day like it's your last. And then therefore, at the end of your day, you just feel kind of accomplished. Mm-hmm. You can't, high five, I can't do it here, but high five myself, no friends, right? So you give yourself a little pat like, hey, I think we did this all right. And if you didn't, give yourself some grace to be like, I have a chance to do it tomorrow again. Mm-hmm. I say it to people all the time, I give you permission to fail. So if you have your permission to fail, then you're not afraid to fail. So then you can just go at it, whatever it might be, and then own it. And then it gets fun. And then every day get a little bit better, a little bit better. And if you fall back a little bit, it's a dance. Enjoy it.
Yeah. We talk about that on 3 words, progress over perfection. There's such this sense within our culture, Jay, and I'm sure you feel it. Everyone wants to be perfect. And that's one of the reasons that probably people don't live for the weekdays, because It's like they feel like in the course of that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday before the weekend, that they're failing a lot, that things aren't always going well, that we're not able to control, use the term, uncontrollables. And so we get nervous and we get frustrated and we get angry and we get exasperated. But I also love this thought that you just shared with us. And I just wanted to soak it in because it's so true. And that is, there's no guarantee of tomorrow.
No.
And we live every day as though that's not true. We tend to think we're guaranteed tomorrow. And so, because if I knew that Monday or this Tuesday or even next Wednesday was my last day, I'm guessing I would be living for the weekdays and not just living for the weekends. I'm curious, as you engage in these conversations with me, obviously we talk very similar language and seem to have similar passions. As our listeners and our viewers are kind of, as we wind down our conversation, any final words or just thoughts that you're like, I want to share this with your viewers and listeners just by way of encouragement or challenge?
Well, obviously live every day like it's your last. Put some love out there in the world. And for me, I'm just full of thanks, just for thanks. And you hear a lot of folks say that, they're thankful. But sometimes you sit back, you just are thankful, but you don't know how to say it or even show it. But you just walk through and be thankful for you got what's going on in your life. Be thankful for where you're at. Even if where you're at isn't where you feel like you're supposed to be, but you're still supposed to be there. You just not feel it right now. So you keep moving forward. Be excited for your time that's here. Hopefully it's the weekdays.
And not squander your week.
It's not squander the week and smile.
Yeah. Smile. Man, I got to get you back in the 3 Words podcast studio again. Gratitude, playfulness, smiling, positivity, rhythms, routines, designing. Che, I'm glad we've reconnected. And I'm glad that our listeners and our viewers get just a few minutes to listen to you. And not to put you on the spot, but can I bring you back again at some point? We can have another conversation.
I think we can do this.
Okay. I love just having you in the studio. Enjoy being your friend. And thanks for being with me today.
No, thank you.
It was a pleasure once again to be here in the 3 Words podcast studio with you. Wherever you're listening in or viewing from all over the world, we want you to know that we care about you. We view you as a part of the D&B coaching family. And if you're enjoying these episodes, we obviously would encourage you to share them with people around the world and those that are most important to you. But also, would you go to dmbcoaching.com/subscribe and subscribe to our monthly digital newsletter? It doesn't cost anything. We just offer lots of added value and added content and even encouragement for you in your daily life, but also gives you an opportunity to be more connected to us. Again, that's dmbcoaching.com/subscribe. We look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks.